Good afternoon, YouTubers. Tsquare with Tsquare Talk. So it is January 17th, Martin Luther King Day, Monday night. And we are going to do a show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about The Big Short, Michael Burry specifically, and some of his predictions that, I've been watching this guy ever since I've seen the movie. I find him super interesting. For those of you that don't know who Michael Burry is, he is kind of the real life person behind The Big Short, the movie of the 2008 housing financial crisis that we went through. He was one of the first people to to bet big against the housing economy. And he saw that what was going on in the housing market was totally unsustainable and that it couldn't last forever. There's a lot of people on YouTube that kind of everybody's an expert. I hate to say it like that. Everybody claims to be an expert on YouTube, and even in the media. I won't even say YouTube. Even in the fake news media, everybody claims to be an expert. But at the end of the day, I always say that everybody has an agenda. YouTubers, we want to see our ratings go up. We want to gain subscribers. I hope you subscribe. However, a lot of times it's rare that someone goes 100% against the grain. This is a guy that, he's been against the grain on a lot of things, but a lot of the things that he has said has came to pass. And we're going to talk about some of them things tonight. Like I said, I find this guy super interesting. I'll show you a couple pictures. I'll show you the header of the movie so you guys kind of know what movie I'm talking about. And we're going to kind of jump right into it. Please hit that subscribe button. If you guys enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button. Help the channel out. It really does help the channel by hitting that thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button. We talk a lot about a lot of different things on the channel. Everything from cooking to coins to prepping to homesteading. A lot of this stuff revolves around, in my opinion, it's not financial advice, but it is kind of some things that I do that I believe lead to a better life, a happier life, a wealth preservation effect. When you invest in stuff like gold, silver, certain type of investments, some of them are speculation investments, some of them are investments that are wealth preservation. Not so much as a get rich quick, like, ooh, I'm going to buy some silver and I'm going to get rich quick. That's not why people buy silver. They buy it for wealth preservation. So we talk a lot about different stuff. And obviously money is a major factor in everybody's life. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish we could go back to the old lifestyle of, you go outside, you farm for a day, you grow stuff, you produce stuff. When people produce stuff, they're happier. It's a better sense of accomplishment. You have more people producing, which means there's more entering into the economy. It's more that goes to people. So we talk about a lot of that type of stuff on the channel. So please hit that subscribe button and help the channel out. So we're going to get right off. We're going to talk a little bit about the prices on gold, silver, some of the cryptos, and what's going on in the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. There's not anything going on really in the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ specifically today because it was a holiday. And then we're going to roll right into what's going on with Michael Burry. What he's saying is his next big prediction. I really believe that I've been saying the same thing. I think the markets are way overvalued. I've been saying it a little longer. However, he has a little bit more, I'll say, street cred, a little bit more reputation behind him because, he has the name. He's huge. He's made some predictions that are extremely extraordinary and have been against the grain all the way. So with that being said, please hit that subscribe button. Check out all of our great videos, or some, or any of the areas you like. We are running an awesome giveaway right now. If you scroll back through the videos just a little way, you will see the Max Pit Barbecue and Catering giveaway. That is from Max Barbecue in Rockport, Texas. So please go check out that video, see what it takes to get in that, and I would enter it. I would enter it and hopefully win. So with that being said, moving on, we're going to take a look at silver real quick. Now, silver, the markets were closed for the weekend. However, they did open back up last night and today, because it is the silver and gold market, which is traded worldwide. Therefore, not everybody acknowledges Martin Luther King Day around the world. So with that being said, silver today sitting at $23.01, not really doing much of anything today. As you can see, the green line, that is today. The red line was last night, late last night, from when it opened Sunday afternoon till midnight our time. So we're not really seeing a whole lot with silver. But, you know, until the fireworks start, I hate to say that, I don't think we're going to see silver and gold really take off. I do believe the takeoff on gold and silver is coming, and that's why I am such a big I'm so big on when it comes to being pro silver, pro gold, because I really believe that we're going to see something happen in the near future. Now, some people out there are saying, no, it's already overpriced. But, you know, what I tell a lot of those people when I talk to them one-on-one, I say, you know, think about it. Silver was, what, $18 a year and a half, 2 years ago? And now when you look at it, it's $23. That's a big price jump, but we've been seeing everything go up. We're continuing to see a lot of prices go up, which, in my opinion, is signs that we're going to continue to see silver and gold continue to climb. Yes, I will say over the last 12 months, we have seen it come down because we saw such a big jump early on, and then it's kind of been working its way down. I don't believe it will continue to come down. That's why over the last 30 days, we're seeing a 2.9% increase in 30 days. Yes, if you look at it over 6 months, it's lost 10%. However, think about this. If over the last 10 months, over the last 6 months, it's lost 10%. Think about the gains that it must have had this month and the months before that were up 3% in 30 days. So that's why I look at that. In the short term, I'm really seeing silver start working its way up. I believe we're going to see that. For people that say, nah, silver's just a hype, it's just a fad, I say, you know, look at it since 2000. Look at it over a long scale, a 20-year track. It's up $17.61. It's up 325%. That's pretty good return in my opinion. Yes, it's not as good as Bitcoin. It's not as good as the Dow Jones lately. It's been on an incredible tear, but I don't expect that to keep going in my personal opinion. Moving on to gold. Gold, we had pretty well flat today, closing out the day at 1820, starting the day yesterday at about 1820. Not really seeing any movement there, but gold is kind of one of them stable assets. You don't see big drops, you don't see big gains, so that's kind of what I expect to continue seeing. But I expect it to slowly creep up, and when it does creep up, that's usually when silver will really climb higher, a lot higher, because silver is kind of like gold, but it's on steroids, a lot of people will say, because you'll see the big gains when gold starts going up, silver will really start going up. Checking into the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, not open today, so it is sitting right now at 35,911. NASDAQ also not open today here in the U.S. because it's Martin Luther King Day, but sitting at 14,806. Taking a quick look, we're going to come back to the stock market too in a few minutes when we start kind of talking a little bit about Michael Burry. Next thing, taking a look at what's going on with Kryptos. Kryptos pretty well mixed today. Very little green, but there is green in there. A lot of red in the top movers. I still really like Shiba, even though Shiba is down 4% today, sitting at 0.00002976, down almost 4%. However, a 4% can be made and lost every day in the cryptos market. Those of you guys that know cryptos move huge. Big gains or big losses, unfortunately. Therefore, I do say it's a lot of speculation behind cryptos. Yes, I understand there's a big market in the NFTs, in the kind of the future. from the blockchain standpoint. However, when it comes to specific names in crypto, I don't really think any one crypto has a huge play over other cryptos. Yes, I will say obviously Bitcoin, it has name recognition and a whole lot of money behind it. But at the end of the day, there's nothing stopping someone from making a new Bitcoin the exact same as this Bitcoin. And it's just a matter of convincing people to get behind it. But right now, market cap on Bitcoin currently sitting at 800 billion market cap. Huge numbers on that note, but we'll see how it plays out in the future. We have been seeing it kind of trend down more recently. Same with Ethereum, but a lot of people saying Ethereum is, they want to get in Ethereum. They believe Ethereum is going to be the future. I kind of like Ethereum over Bitcoin. A lot of it has to do with the price evaluation between Ethereum and Bitcoin. So with that being said, we're going to move on now to the top story, in my opinion, of the night that I kind of wanted to talk about. Now, for those of you guys that don't know who Michael Burry is, first thing, I got to say who he is, just so you guys have an idea. Michael Burry was the I'm going to say the main person behind The Big Short. He predicted that the housing market was going to collapse in 2008, well before anybody else. There was nobody that was really talking this theory until he kind of came onto the scene. He made a name for himself from that, and they made a movie later on, and it was a really great movie. They had an awesome cast: Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale. Christian Bale being the one playing the main star of Michael Burry. So if you guys recognize him from the picture, he's really an eccentric character in the picture, spends a lot of time to himself and has nothing better to do than read the charts and read the numbers. A guy like this, I kind of look at and say, this is a guy that knows numbers. He's not, out for ratings. He is the type of guy that just, he wants to be right. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure he enjoyed being right, even though in the movie it portrayed a very stressed out person. It could not make sense, really. The numbers all pointed one direction, but stuff was not actually happening the way it was supposed to happen in his mind. And he knew this was happening. He knew that there was a big cover-up between the housing shorts, what was going on, and the actual housing market. So he's seen it, kind of like what a lot of us talk about here on this channel and on other channels, about there being a huge disconnect in the silver market, where we know that silver is being manipulated. We know silver is worth a lot more than it is. However, how do you argue when there's billions of dollars saying, no, that's not the case? So to a certain point, he's in that same situation in the movie, and even in real life, I could really feel that character in the movie from the way it was portrayed by Christian Bale. And if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. It's probably one of my all-time favorite movies, along with The Boiler Room, which is another stock market movie. So with that being said, now let's move on to what the real life Michael Burry just came out and said. So Michael Burry, what's up with my computer? Glitching a little there. So Michael Burry, he is on the belief right now that the stock market is at all-time highs. It's at all-time speculation. It's never been higher than it is right now. And it's overrated, essentially, is what he thinks. He thinks people are just willing to buy any shares at any price, totally taking out factor of price per earning ratio, what's going on. And I do really agree with him, because when you look at like a chart over the long term of the NASDAQ, I mean, look at all the years where the NASDAQ just kind of slowly creeped up. This creeping up, in my opinion, is an example of slow growth. I mean, you're going to have growth in businesses. You're going to have growth in an economy. However, you can see the way it slowly moves up. But once it kind of breaks through a certain area and it just goes totally parabolic up, it's just a matter of time before you see that crash coming. And as you can see right here in the dot-com bubble, this huge jump in March 10th of 2000, where it hit an all-time high of 5,048, according to this chart. Keep in mind, this chart is zoomed out, so it's probably not going to be exact. But from what we're seeing right here, it's showing 5,048. That's in March of 2000. But then something happens and it starts coming down. You see it come down in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 5, 6, 7, all the way up, 10, 11, 12, 2015. And ironically, March 27th, or March, right around March, I just saw it there. I'm trying to get right on it. Right around March of 2015. You're talking 15 years before people made all their money back from that crash of that .com in the basic stocks that are made up of the NASDAQ. So a 15-year gap. So here's the thing. If you knew, you know what, it's overrated, the growth is just way too high, it doesn't add up, and you got out, you essentially could have put your money back in right behind the crash and kind of still had that slow continued growth all the way up. But here's the thing. Once it got back up to the 2015, it wasn't long after that we saw it go parabolic again in, right around 2015, 16. Some people say a lot of that has to do, obviously, we had the huge housing crisis printing money, and a lot of that kind of had been filtering little by little into the system. Who knows? But he's thinking right now that this is all overvalued, and I kind of agree with him. You can kind of see that this is not a slow growth. This is parabolic, straight up. And it's not just there. You can see it also when you look at the NASDAQ. A lot of the same situation. You have a normal slow growth in the 80s, in the 90s. It starts going up. Obviously, it feeds on the .com bubble. That money and that interest in the stock. It didn't take as much of a hit, as you can see. It didn't take as long to recoup. But then you still see, even today, it goes parabolic. We had that super crash at the beginning of, I don't know how to say this without getting hit. In the beginning of everything going on right now, we saw a huge crash in airline stocks, huge crash in basically everything, and it pretty much instantly recovered, as you can see here on the chart. It just kept going, almost like it's at a parabolic state where it can't come down, and people are saying it can't come down. I find that hard to believe that the stock market is in a position where it can't come down. A lot of the investors today, I'm going to say the majority are basically younger Robinhood investors. I have a lot of younger friends, and some of them have even told me, Tom, you don't know, man, the stock market can't come down. The stock market never goes down. I got time on my side. And that's true. I do believe that some of these younger friends of mine, they have time on their side. But who wants to take a heavy lesson of what could be a 50% hit in their portfolio? Not me. And during the time of heavy recession, generally you do see gold and silver goes up. That's why I am such a big proponent of gold and silver. And I do have a price tag on it. So, I mean, when it hits a certain number, yes, I will unload some of it. I'm not solely into it for just the end of the world or the collapse of the dollar. I'm in it to make money first and foremost. And then secondary, obviously, I want to have some to kind of protect myself if things do start really getting crazy. So now coming back to Michael Burry, he's made a lot of predictions. He's not only predicting that the stock market's going to collapse, he's saying huge on cryptos and meme stocks. So your cryptos are stuff like Bitcoin, which we've already seen start crashing. He's saying meme stocks, which unfortunately would be stuff like AMC, and stuff like BlackBerry, GameStop. Those are your meme stocks that they talk about. A lot of the Wall Street bet stocks, he thinks those are going to take devastating hits. And to a point, I think they will. However, I'm convinced that even all the short positions have not been cleared out on that yet, which means they're going to have to buy those back at some point. So who knows if we'll see them really collapse quite as fast. It's hard when you borrow a stock at $7 and now it's up to, $100. I mean, how do you justify that to your investors, your shareholders, or even yourself if you've been shorting some of them stocks? But he believes a lot of that's going to plummet. Now, here's the thing. About 4 months ago, he made a couple of predictions about Tesla and Cathie Wood's ARK Invest fund, and he said, even them, they're huge, overrated. And, a lot of people know who Elon Musk from Tesla is. A lot of people know who Cathie Woods is. And their funds and stocks had been doing amazingly well. However, when the stock market's doing good, everything is doing good. I hate to say that like that. All ships rise with the tide. However, not all ships are going to stay afloat when the tide goes out. Some of them might be docked on land, literally. So, when you have that, everybody's doing good. It's easy to call stocks. I mean, literally, I could throw darts at a board, and if the stock market's on an incredible tear, it almost don't matter what stock you hit, you're going to make money. However, are you going to take your money out? Are you going to take your money out and take some profits? If you are taking profits, well, hey, I mean, you're probably, in my personal opinion, doing the right thing. I know I took a lot of slack when I sold my Dogecoin, and then it kept going up to, we saw it go up to like 72 cents, I think. A lot of people are like, you never should have sold, man. You never should have sold. You make a good profit off it and you get out. You can't go wrong. That profit is real money now. It's like being at a casino and you're playing poker and you decide, hey, I'm going to cash out some of my poker chips. I'm going to take some of these winnings and put them back in my pocket. Now, it's not on the table. It's not there for you to lose. You've taken profits. You've taken it out of the system. You've taken it out of the casino, essentially. The same thing when you are looking at some of this stuff. So I wanted to know, let's see how these two, since these are his most recent, not counting the ones that he is saying for this year is really going to happen. What happened to Cathie Woods? I don't know what happened at first. So I Googled it. I wanted to see how bad of a hit, how well did he call this? And when I Googled it and I started seeing a lot of the stories come up, I said, oh boy, he definitely called that one right. And then I was like, but I got to know, I want to know specifically how bad he did. How bad? Did he call this right and say that this was going to go down? Did he call it right by a small margin, or did it really tank? And as you can see here, it tanked. I mean, it lost right now over just the last 6 months. He called this probably about 5 months ago. Now, there is a trend that I see here that I kind of wonder if he has a little luck on his side or if he really saw this coming, because he called it about 5 months ago. Well, over 6 months, it's lost 37% of its investment. Did he call it when it first started dipping and then it had that cup handle effect where it came back up a little bit more, people thinking they were buying the dip, and then it just started tanking? You can kind of see right here when he called it, it basically had already started coming down, $78. Maybe he called it right at the bottom here, but then it started picking up again. This, a lot of people will say, yeah, in a Ponzi or a bubble, you will get a cup effect where it will almost recover that first hit, because a lot of people that invest in it, they're going to buy that dip up, and then it's going to continue up, and then they're going to be on cloud 9 until it makes another dip. And then once it starts going down, and then it goes down really low, as you can see here, there were some people that started putting money back into it thinking it can't go any lower. That's it. And then they get all excited because maybe they picked it up at, $70, $71, and then now it's climbing back up and it's at 78, 79. They're like, see, they don't know. And then all of a sudden we just saw it tank. And it's been on a pretty well downtrend now. for the whole 5 months. So he's done a great job calling that. The other one that he called was Tesla. And everybody knows Elon Musk. Like I said, Elon Musk, a huge figure in, the guy tweets coin. I wish he'd start tweeting about sheep coin. That we would see that go up. But, needless to say, when this guy tweets stuff, people jump on it. People are all over him. People watch his posts, what he posts, what's going on in his life, whatever he's talking about. He's a big figure, and he's very smart. He is pretty much, I will say, Elon Musk is also ahead of his time. However, Elon Musk, obviously, if he owns Tesla, he essentially is not going to want his stock to look bad. And that makes sense. I wouldn't want anything that I'm invested in to look bad, especially if it's my company. Obviously, when he did sell tons and tons of his stock in December, keep in mind, Michael Burry called this 5 months ago. When Elon Musk sold, he said, I'm selling shares because I got to pay taxes. Now, there is a interesting thing, Michael Burry coming out saying, yeah, whatever. He's not selling because he needs tax money. He's selling because he don't want to own it anymore because he knows it's overvalued. And if it comes down in value, then essentially he can buy it back cheaper. He probably gets huge amounts of share options anyway as part of his being the CEO of the company. And essentially, I won't say cash is king, but cash is a little better than the poker chips at the casino. Now, is there something better? Yeah, real money, sound money, gold, silver, that type of thing. But if you are looking at a casino standpoint and you're buying Tesla, I have a belief, yes, I will say, Tesla stock is extremely interesting. The stuff that Elon Musk gets into, he has done really well. Extremely clever, extremely smart guy. I was actually looking at something about his new phone service and his new phones that they might roll out, and I was like, wow, I want one of those phones. I really don't care what it costs. I said, I want one. And, a lot of people are going to take that viewpoint when it comes to not just his phone, his car, a lot of his different stuff that he is getting into. He's getting into a lot of different areas. But the question at hand is, what happened with Tesla stock in that 5 months? So as we scroll through, I pulled up the chart on Tesla. Tesla not really taking a devastating hit. In fact, we saw it continue to climb. And then all of a sudden it really jumped up. But now we're starting to see it slowly work its way down, in my opinion. It's off its highs. The question is, why is it off its highs? Is it off its highs because he literally just had to sell a bunch of stock to pay his taxes? Or is it off its highs because he is dumping a lot of his shares because he knows that it is overvalued? And the question is it still overvalued at $1,049? It's a big drop, $1,049 from $1,222. I mean, you're talking almost a 20% drop. However, a lot of people are saying, no, it's a temporary pullback. Well, people, unfortunately, were also saying that with the Kathy Wood's ARK investment, and then it just started falling. So the question is, what is going to happen with Tesla? I mean, who knows? Time will tell. To me, I also believe that, quite frankly, the markets are overvalued. We are living in essentially a one big bubble right now, with prices on everything from houses being at all-time highs to lumber to food to commodities. But one asset in my mind that really stands out, that has not really gained huge popularity, is gold and silver. Has it gone up? Absolutely. Has it been gaining popularity? Yes, but not on the large scale like a lot of other assets have. So I believe that there is a lot of paper manipulation out there behind that, and essentially that's stopping it from going and reaching its true potential. Eventually, paper contracts will have to clear. You can't manipulate a system indefinitely and expect that the system is going to stay working. Eventually, people will see The real value of silver, the real value of gold is a lot higher than what they're portraying. And then all of a sudden, the people that have the paper contracts are going to want to take physical demand of it. The sad thing is, and they will openly tell you this, there is not enough paper contracts for the amount of silver. I'm sorry, there's not enough silver out there than there are for every paper contract. That means if everybody decides basically to cash in those paper contracts and say, I don't want cash, I want physical silver, that's it. Game, check, match. It's over. Checkmate. Question is, will that happen? Will that happen soon? Will it happen down the road? Who knows? When economies get in hard times, essentially everything falls down. People start wanting to get secure. Obviously, cash becomes a large factor. How much cash can you hold? When you think the economy is going to tank, you go to cash. When you think that you might lose your job in the near future, you save cash. Very few people do move to gold and silver right now. However, if something happens and people start losing faith in the cash itself, then they're going to fall back to that number one safest asset, God's money, gold, silver. And when that happens, you're just going to have trillions and trillions of dollars in fiat dollars moving to an asset class that you had the knowledge and the foresight to get into before everybody else. At that point, prices could go parabolic. I believe they will. The premiums at that point, people are not going to complain about a $5 premium. They're probably not even going to complain about a $20 premium at that point, because it will literally be off the charts. It will be unlike anything any of us have ever seen before. And this is all just my personal belief of what I think is going to happen. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I looked into it a lot. I've been wanting to talk about this for a little while now. It's hard because obviously, I think Elon Musk, after I've studied a lot on him, I think he's extremely knowledgeable, but I also think the guy's going to protect his own investments first. And then obviously Michael Burry, I've been reading about him for a long time now, ever since the movie The Big Short. When I found out it was based off real life, I watched that movie and I said, you know what? I really want to know more about what this guy thinks and how he thinks. And I mean, we'll see. He's got a lot more predictions coming, and I think we're going to see a lot more. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. Help the channel out. Hit that subscribe. Takes a minute of your time. Really helps out this channel huge. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the description down below, because I like hearing y'all's thoughts. If you think, heck no, the stock market's going to go on forever, put that in the comments. If you believe, no, it's coming down in the near future, then put that in the comments. I like to read y'all's comments. That's one of the big reasons we are doing that giveaway right now, is because I kind of like reading people's comments, and the way I have that giveaway set up, you get entered by the comments. So go check out that video and make sure you check it out. I think you guys will like it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you guys live on Tuesday night. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.